good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're glad to finally have met you.
Yeah, almost face to face.
Yeah, almost.
About as close as we could get. Where are you guys located?
So we're about an hour south of Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
Just south of a town called Waverly. Just an itty bitty little town, no stoplights, couple of stop signs, and that's about it. Been looking forward to meeting you guys virtually at least, and someday hopefully in person.
It's nice to see your faces, Nancy. It's nice to see you here.
So can you guys introduce yourselves?
Certainly. My name is Robb Wood. This is my lovely wife, Nancy. We've been married now for a little over 34 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you.
Got married just out of high school, just after I came in the Navy.
Yeah.
Went into the Navy, and yep.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yep, I was in the Navy for 20 years and retired.
Wow.
Left the Navy in 2006, retired, and then was in at a power plant out in Southern California. And then about 6 years ago, we moved out here to Kansas.
Wow. So that's a big move from Southern California to Kansas. What spurred that?
Well, there were a couple of reasons. I kind of shared before. We had a family tragedy where we lost our daughter, and and we were both tired of tired of Southern California. The plant that I was at had closed, so an opportunity came to come out here, and so we jumped on it. We were just ready for a change.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Southern California, I don't see how anybody can stay there very long.
It was miserable. It's a beautiful place if you can afford it.
Yeah.
But it's not all beaches and sunshine. It costs money to live next to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. What part of Southern California? What town were you in over there?
We were in Marietta, which is about an hour north of San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Oceanside. My dad is a retired Marine, and then my mom was a nurse out there. So anyway, yeah. But we lived inland, so my drive at one time, we were living out in Hemet. It was an hour and 45 minutes to work one day.
Wow. Wow.
And
that traffic is terrible there too.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, totally. It just, and you're tense and you're whatever. And then when we moved in there, I'm sorry.
Tense and angry.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have to look at your traffic app to see, where the accidents are, because you don't want to be late to work, and you got to coordinate everything, and everything just takes so much time.
Yeah.
So anyway, we moved out here. I started at the plant that I'm at in December of 14, and she actually arrived here in Kansas on our anniversary, Valentine's Day, and just started a new life. We bought a house out here in the country, and Kansas has just been amazing. We just absolutely love it.
And now he has a 10-minute commute to work.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a cool shop, which came with the house.
Yeah.
So,
that's nice to come home to from work.
Yeah. It's real nice. It's like a 19 by 26 shop.
Ooh.
When we bought the house, Nancy had several criteria.
Yeah, one of which was that he would actually have a shop, because he kept telling me, and there's this wonderful garage, and you'll be able to park your car in the garage. And I was never able to park in the garage because it always turned into a shop.
Yeah.
So this time I made sure he had a shop, and I would be able to park in the garage.
So it's kind of like the weather out where you're at,
Yeah. So you've always needed someplace, a shop. You've always worked with wood or done something in the shop. Is that just your nature?
Sort of. I was actually a friend of mine got me into welding.
Oh,
And so, and I like to barbecue. So we concocted this plan. We turned one of those, it's like a pressurizer tank thing into a smoker. And I don't have a picture readily available, but we'd get off work and get home about midnight. We would be out like mad scientists outside welding, and, you know, in Southern California where everybody keeps to themselves.
yeah.
There's these two idiots out in the garage welding, looking like, you know, Frankenstein, you know. And when we finished, it was like, I remember it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, well, let's fire it up. Let's get it going. I'm like, are you crazy? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So what? Let's go. So we fired it up, and, you know, so people are going to work. This is a weekday. They're going to work, and these two idiots are out there and smoking meat. It was kind of foggy. And so, yeah. I mean, I've always been a man that likes to work with his hands. I have, like, you know, I like woodworking, but it was more just kind of around the house. It wasn't, you know, so
Yeah, it was more like building things.
building things, building the kids, you know, forts, and just doing this and that, you know, whatever, just
Yeah.
do type stuff.
Gotcha. And so, did you do any of that? That was all just for your own use.
Right.
So how did you come across us? Do you any idea how you kind of hooked up with us?
Yeah, interesting story. So I was at work one day, and my job allows me to, you know, free time, thankfully. And I was, you know, I've been into barbecue. I like to bicycle, mountain biking, doing things, but I was looking for something that I could do out in my shop. My shop's enclosed, and welding, just, you know, it's a fire hazard, and you can't do it all year round. And I say I weld, but I really splatter metal. I, you know, kind of YouTube trained, and I just, you know, so, you know, it's a messy hobby. So I was looking for something different in my shop. And so anyway, I happened to come across one of y'all's videos one day, and I don't remember which one it was, but I started watching. I'm like, hey, this is something I can do. All it requires is a router, piece of wood, a couple of router bits, and paint. You know, it can't cost that much. Yeah, that's
That's a whole other story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Eric
Yeah.
and his 15 routers. Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm up to 5 or 6. I just bought me a real nice Bosch with the wooden. They look like I can't remember the model, but it's got like the wooden handles.
Yeah, 16, 17.
Okay.
Full size, right?
Yep. I wanted that because there's a lot of cedar out here. So I wanted something big and beefy, and it's kind of my dream router. So anyway, so started watching your videos, and I wanted something that I could do out there where I could kind of sort things out, because, you know, losing a child, you know, an adult child, and going through all the I call it the grieving process, and just trying to sort out which way, you know, whatever. I needed something constructive to do while I sorted things, and something that I could do all year round.
Yeah.
So, so my very first sign I actually did, and it's actually hanging above my sign carving desk. And then it just kind of went from there. And next thing you know, I'm buying tools, and I'm doing this and doing that. And she was just unbelievably patient, because, you know, you know how it goes. There's a kitchen to be remodeled, and there's some other things that are got to get done. So.
Now, Nancy, do you help at all with the sign carving or the painting or any of that?
Yeah, I do some of the painting, and from watching you, I've learned a little bit about doing the resin, and so I've done some resin things, and it's been fun. I've always grown up doing a lot of crafts. My grandmother was a seamstress, a professional seamstress. So, I mean, I always remember sewing and, you know, just doing stuff around the house, you know, little crafts, crocheting and stuff, and got involved with.
I tried sewing once.
Once.
Yeah, no,
Once.
well, in high school, I took a home ec class and I made a t-shirt and I got an A on it and I took it home, and my mom was also a seamstress. She made all of our clothes. I took it home and told her I got an A, and she's like, "Oh no, you take it back and tell them to do it right." Like, yeah, I was like, so that shot that. And then I think when my youngest grandson was born, I made a blanket, which is sewing straight lines like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a $1,500 sewing machine sitting in the floor of the closet in there. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's been there for
Yeah.
about 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things that some people just are naturally good at and other people aren't, you know?
I'm a not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is too, if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to put in enough time, and you don't care enough about it. You know,
Yeah, that's
whatever it is you end up doing, it's because you like doing it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you enjoy it, so it gives you that that motivation to get better at it because you're enjoying what you're doing. If
Right.
you're not, then it's like a job, and a
So,
job you don't like.
You said you're trying out the resin. What have you done with the resin?
Well, here, well, actually, I prepared, I actually did, I got a couple of pictures. This was, I don't know if you can see this,
Get close.
this is her very first
Get
resin.
it up closer.
I don't know if, can you see that okay?
Oh, is that cedar? I love cedar. That's my favorite.
Yep. So
That's
that was
beautiful.
for, yeah, so she did that for a friend of ours who had breast cancer. And so she had the surgery and all that. But anyway, we went on over and surprised them. So Nancy, very first time, I carved the sign and she did the resin, and she just fell in love with it. And of course, Darcy, our friend, and her husband, her family just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And to this day, it sits in the living room in a nice prominent place that it's just
That's
something.
awesome. That's beautiful.
Very cool.
I love that.
You did really well.
Yeah.
And then she did this one, and I think I may have sent you that.
Now,
So,
those butterflies, are those resin?
yep, those are all resin. Nancy can tell you
Wow.
about how she did.
That's beautiful.
I tried just putting color
Thank you.
resin in it, but it wasn't giving me what I wanted. So I had to put glitter on top of it and then put another layer of resin.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And it was a project, but it just turned out so beautiful.
That is gorgeous. That is a beautiful butterfly.
It really came out well.
Yeah,
She-
very good.
so- Thank you. So I went through and I just did the I believe it was the Amana bit, or there was the first the detail bit. I'm having
SC50.
Probably the SC50.
SC50. Yeah, the real detail. So I went through and did the detail, and then she went around to each individual color and filled them in. You know, let's say I can't remember if I painted it first, but anyway, yeah, it's for a friend. She's a high school teacher, and so originally I was supposed to go in her classroom, but after she got it, she was so afraid of the kids maybe messing it up, you know, risking it. It now sits in her home office. So this was kind of that thing that we started. This was kind of our thing. We went, hey, we can really work together.
Yeah.
Because before she kind of had her hobbies, I had mine,
Yep.
and
Right.
so
Yeah, I never had hobbies. I've never been creative at all. And then I started watching videos, and that's how I learned to do the resin on the videos. And then between Eric and I, you know, resin and carving the resin, and
Yeah. It's just a great way. You guys are, you know, doing the same kinds of things that we are. Great way to,
right.
to add
Collaborate
both
those,
things
yeah.
together that you guys can work
Yep.
and
together.
it's fun because you're doing something together. I mean, you know, all of our lives working and him working and me somewhere else, you know. I've had people ask me all the time, God, how can we work together and be together all the time? Well, I like him. We kind of like each other, and I didn't.
Kind of attached to the guy, huh?
Yeah, I didn't marry him 40 years ago to live separate lives, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on that too. 40 years. You know, that's awesome too.
Yep, 40 years.
Yeah, I guess both of us are in the minority these days. There's just not a lot of long-lasting marriages out there, unfortunately. But
Yeah, unfortunately, it just takes work, and you know, you have your ups and downs, but if you can find something like this,
yeah,
you know, and like I said, we just kind of was like, babe, because she's definitely the smarter one in this relationship, hands down. She's definitely more creative. She actually, give you another example, has nothing to do with resin, but we have a hot tub room, and that was another thing she insisted on. She wanted a room, she wanted a hot tub,
yeah.
because she has a lot of physical issues and stuff. So she took pictures and she painted a mural of the like different places we've been in our hot tub. So it's got Hawaii, it's got the ship I was on in San Diego, the Azores, just different places around the world. And
Wow,
it's just
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's got
And she'd never done anything like that before.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Doesn't that feel good though? That's just like with the resin. I've never done it before, but every time I see a finished, something that I finished, it's fulfilling. I
Well, and
guess.
the thing with us
Yes,
too is we'll talk about, you know, one of us will bring up an idea for a project, and then the other one will think about it maybe from a different angle, and then we start brainstorming back and forth. Well, we could do this, we could do that, we could add this, and that's how our projects actually come together. Is a collaboration with both of our creative juices flowing. It just worked out really well that way.
Yeah, it's like my dining room table. It only took, you know, 2
A
years.
year or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's amazing. You do amazing stuff.
Oh,
You really do, Vicki.
thank you. We're doing another project now that will be videos next week.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we'll
that's
have it
cool.
with that next week. Yeah. So,
Well, I'm gonna,
oh, go ahead, Rob.
we're planning on buying some Total Boat because we've been using just the stuff from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And then our friend of ours, a real close friend of mine, in fact, the husband of the lady that of this sign, gave her some resin. So we're going to start moving in and doing some other different things. I have a friend of ours, a friend of mine from work that wants me to do cornhole boards. So
They're popular.
right, and so we're going to try doing that. And they're doing like for a fundraiser, and he's like, look, I love your sign carving, I love different things, so we're going to try that. So
When you're ready to buy the Total Boat, let us know, because we have a discount code.
Yeah, 15.
yeah, I remember that.
And it's unfortunately, it's only on the first order, so, you know. And
Make it a big one.
yeah, well, a Total Boat is so much, because I've tried a lot of different ones, and Total Boat is by far the best, and and all in all, it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is for what you're getting for the quality and stuff like that. So I know the very first one that I used, I won't say the name of it, but it cost me for a 2-gallon kit. It was, we talked about this today, it was $180, and I can buy the Total Boat, and I think it's $115 for 2 gallons.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So significant. Yeah.
So, Rob, are you doing any signs like selling them or anything like that, or is it pretty much just friends and family and word of mouth?
It's, you know, it's a hobby. I have sold some things, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second, but I prefer doing it right now as a hobby. Some of it's confidence because I'm very critical on myself, and when I've done,
He still is critical of himself.
Yeah, and he's done hundreds of thousands of signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, I like it, you know, as I do them, the best way I can describe it is when I give somebody a sign that either I or we have made, I tell people like this, it's like giving a hug. When you give a hug, you get a hug back.
Yeah.
And when we gave Darcy her sign, and we give others, the ones from High Gear, the ones that we, you know, when we surprise them with that and just the reaction, people are just, they're so thankful. They really appreciate that it's handmade, that, you know, they can see that it's handmade. It's not some machine. I'm nothing against CNCers. I'm not, but I hear it so much. I love your work, our work, because it does have those little, and as hard as you try, you can't stop those imperfections.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But
So, yeah.
it's a custom sign, and there's a lot of love and that goes into those signs.
Yeah.
And people
Yep.
most people do appreciate it. You get those that want to Jew you down on price, but tell them, put the hours
Yeah.
in, and so.
yeah,
Hey.
I like we did. So I made a box for my wife, and I ended up selling 2 more after, and they were so much. I sold it way less than what I should have. But
What
this
kind of wood
this-
is that?
Purple Heart?
this is Purple Heart.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
this is an example
That is
where I
beautiful.
combined sign carving into making or something. I surprised her 2 years ago, I think it was. So go ahead and show.
That is
Oh, how
beautiful.
cool is that?
Oh
Wow,
my
what a great
God.
idea. Wow, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
So do you know Stumpy Nubs? I've heard you mention him,
Oh, yeah.
James Hamilton.
Yeah.
His dad, Mustache Mike, did a Purple Heart box and on one of his scroll sawing videos. And I said, you know what? I want to make something special for my bride here for her birthday.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a double lid box. This is curly maple. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the grain there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my friend taught me how to do the flocking.
Yeah.
And this is all scroll sawed out.
Wow.
So I watched his video and I'm like, you know what? I want to do a double lid box and I want to surprise her and I want to incorporate the sign carving
Yeah.
into it.
Wow.
And so, and then I put it in another box and I made another box out of cedar and had it inside. So when she opened it, she got 2 boxes. It's,
I
I'll
love
show you.
that. That's
What a
beautiful.
cool idea. I love that
Thank you.
double lid box.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of but anyway, yeah, so I did that. And then somebody else at work saw it. And then, so I don't know if you can see, this is the next one I did.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
so,
cool.
Wow.
so the sign carving, one of the things I think is really cool is that you can incorporate it not just into quote unquote signs, but you can do it into, like we did a step from our hot tub room into our house. And we had done a trip down the coast of Washington, Oregon and took pictures of lighthouses. Well, then we took a picture, one of the pictures, converted it into rapid resizer,
Yeah.
and then put that on the step. And we actually have a step, if you can see it here, the lighthouse.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
So,
Oh,
yeah, so
Very
you can
cool.
just do, thank you, you can do things where you just incorporate them into other objects. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be just a sign on a wall or a sign in front of a building. It can be all kinds of things.
yeah.
Yep.
What a cool
That's
idea.
awesome.
That's so creative. Love that
Thank you.
box idea.
You
Yeah.
should make
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, that Purple Heart is just amazing wood. It's hard.
Oh,
It's
Yeah, it's hard.
it's very hard. I've carved it a couple of times and it is,
Yeah.
that stuff's like concrete. It is very,
yeah, it is.
it's
But
beautiful.
the maple wasn't bad. The maple, what I've learned is that you carve things, if it's a real hardwood, you carve a little bit at a time.
Yep.
And you have to go back over and you just get progressively deeper to where you want it.
That's what my
Absolutely.
table base is made out of. The legs are it's
Ambrosia maple.
ambrosia maple.
Ambrosia maple.
And then he
Yeah.
found the boards to do the apron on it that's ambrosia maple.
Yeah.
And when he's carving it or cutting it, it just smells so good.
Yeah.
It smells like
Yeah.
purple popcorn.
But that is really a cool contrast with the maple and the Purple
Oh,
Heart.
that's
The
gorgeous.
Thank you.
light and the dark. That really is a neat contrast. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Surprise, Nancy.
What?
She asked, were you surprised?
Oh, gosh, yes. I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I had it sitting in the shop one time, like I had it all laid out. And she never comes out in the shop. Not that she's not welcome, but I just never expect her to come out in the shop. Well, one day she comes out in the shop. I'm like, oh no, this is all laid out. She's gonna bust it, whatever. And she didn't have a clue. She came in, whatever.
Well, he always has so many projects going on anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to what's out there.
So needless to say, she was pretty happy, and you know, it's something that she will treasure the rest of her life.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
And,
now you have any projects going on currently?
yes, I do. One I can't really say in video because I'm making a sign for a friend of mine out in California.
Yeah.
I can't say, but it's going to be also a resin collaboration with Nancy.
Cool.
And it's going to be a toughie. And I'll send you a picture when we get done, but it's going to be a hard one. It's all I'll say is that there's a college buddy of mine, and he's into Corvettes, and so he'll probably see this. But then I'm also making another sign for High Gear, that bike shop that I did the handlebars of hope.
Yeah.
Those signs. I'm doing one for in front of their store, and I've already talked to them. This won't be a surprise. This is just something I'm doing that will go in the front of their store. And then let's see, a couple more that we're doing. I have a long list of people that want signs, and it's just a matter of getting the time. And I'm so picky.
Yeah.
Well, and plus his work schedule is crazy, so he works when he can.
Yeah,
So
I get out there.
How much longer are you going to work at the plant then, as far as before you retire?
Oh, I've got probably 10 more years, 12 more years. And I, you know, this might turn into a retirement job. I've got a lot of people that are interested. I've got, you know, I've done a variety of different signs. So like people at work know that Robb's the guy that likes to do the signs, and I have that guy that I did the German Shepherd for, that one. I don't know if you remember that one.
No, I don't. Remind me.
Yeah, it'd be easier to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this one here, he's got a whole bunch of cedar.
What kind of wood is that? That's gorgeous.
That's cedar. That's cedar.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
That's gorgeous. Man, look at the detail on that shepherd.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And that was just from a picture off the internet. He wanted me to make something that was like above his door, like when you walk up to his house. Well, he was expecting a little sign like this. Well, I knew that he was going to give me free wood, and I happened to come across that board in my stock, and I was like, this would really work. So when he came over before work, and I'm like, here you go. And he's like, oh my gosh, well, they've got 4 German Shepherds, and his family just went nuts. And his wife, there's no way that is going outside. That is going in the living room.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool. That's
very
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Probably the sign I'm kind of jumping around, but the sign I'm most proud of, and I think I showed you, was this one right here. That was one of my first signs.
Skip it up just a little bit.
You can see.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah,
I like that.
Very nice.
Well, I like that font.
Yeah, and that that was my mistake, that you know, because I did the first one that was in memory of my daughter, our daughter, and I've done some others, but that one there I had carved it, and then I realized, you know, you're always talking about, Eric, you know, make sure you go deep, you know. Well, we're always afraid to go deep, you know, in the carving. And so I do it, and I'm like, rats, I got all these things. So I'm trying to do the Sharpie trick, and I'm like, this is baloney. This ain't gonna work. So I'm like, well, I'll just carve it again. So I go and I carve it, and as I'm going around, I'm like, this looks pretty cool. I like this. So this hangs, my friend, the sign that for Anna, the school teacher friend, her husband Luke, this hangs in his shop above a garage. He has a garage door business, See Allen for Your Door signs here in Burlington. Well, it hangs above that garage door. That's their business logo, you know.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, it was a happy mistake.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's you know, sometimes that's the way it is. When I think of something and I try it for the first time, very rarely does it turn out like I think it's gonna. Once in a while it will, but more often than not, I find things like by accident, like the my diamond pattern background. I just thought
Right.
I thought it would look more like I was visualizing like a baseball field when they mow the grass one way and then they mow it
Right.
the other way. I was visualizing that, but as I did it, it ended up becoming a diamond pattern, which I liked even better, but I certainly didn't envision that when I started it. So
Right.
a lot of things like that. Yeah.
I think it's just kind of that happy discovery. You know, you come across stuff and
Perfect
Um,
term, yeah.
my buddy just said, you know what? If you mess it up so bad, whatever, you throw it in a scrap wood pile and you either burn it later or you know, whatever. But he said, it's just wood, you know, you can do it. But if you don't try, you're never going to know whether you can do it or not.
Exactly.
Well, and you learn even from mistakes of what doesn't work. At least you learn one more way that you don't like, one more way that doesn't work, and now you
Right.
you don't have to try that again because you've already been through it.
Right. Yeah, you can just do so. I see us continuing just making these signs and doing it, and you know, it might turn into a retirement business, but right now it's just, you know, it's a lot of fun. We just, you know, we enjoy doing it as a couple. We just and it gave me, you know, working out in the shop and being encouraged and seeing the reaction that people have to your artwork, because you know, somebody told me, said, Rob, you're an artist. And I went, yeah, she's an artist. I'm not an artist.
There you are.
But yeah, I come and I finally went, okay, well, I guess I am. And then it just kind of, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you, I don't know.
Makes you proud.
There
I
is
mean,
there is
you know,
something that is so special about when you make something for somebody and hand it to them, whether it's a gift or whether you're getting paid for it. But when you get
Right.
that immediate reaction, that immediate feedback that they're
Mhm.
elated with this thing, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
got me hooked like really early on. Like when I was in, of course, back then I was just doing it for pretty girls. But you know,
Right, of course. That's what motivates us.
yeah, but there was just something about making something and then just handing it to somebody. Even when I was doing it, you know, on site 20, 30, 40 signs a day, I just never
Right.
got tired of handing that to somebody and having them just, you know, light up from it. There's just something
Right.
special about that. You can't get any other way.
Yeah, it's a drug. It really is. It's just that, like I told you earlier, it's like a hug.
Yeah.
You know, when you give a hug, you get a hug. And, you know, they will always remember, hey, I got this sign from this guy, whether you were out in Ottman, right?
Oatman, yeah,
Oatman.
yeah.
Nancy, by the way, is from Flagstaff.
Oh,
really?
oh my gosh. That's only about 3 hours that way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. She was raised in Flagstaff and then moved out. And I met her out. She was my friend's older sister. So
Oh,
married an older woman, you know.
yeah.
But yeah,
Younger you, Nancy.
she robbed the cradle. I was still in high school when we started dating. She had a car.
Nancy, I like it. I like
She had a car.
Yeah, I always say get them young, that way you can train them.
it.
Yeah, how's that worked out?
I
Pretty
think
good.
it worked out pretty good, Nancy. I think you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Well, it's gone by like that.
I know.
It's just-
Any advice for newcomers? Well, real quick, before you answer that, how long have you been carving signs?
what, about 4 years now?
Okay.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, time flies, you know, and it's been just little here and there.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
okay, now we go. Any advice for the new person looking at possibly starting?
You know, I think the thing, I knew you were going to ask this question. I think the thing is just have fun with it. You know, be creative. I hate to say this because I don't want to offend anybody, but my friend Luke said, don't carve like an old man. And what he meant by this was don't get just stuck where you're in the rut where you're doing the same thing all the time. Not, you know, so, but he said, you know, be creative, try different things, you know, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that advice I've taken is what's led us to do all these other creative things. It's just,
You're
you know,
absolutely right, though. I mean, you know, he can teach the basics of how he's been doing it for 50 years. And then
Right.
like all these sign carvers of the day have got
Which are
him
amazing.
saying, I got to step it up. These guys are good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's got to step it up. And his mind is always working, trying to come up with something.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
always, always. So good
It's-
advice. Good advice.
Yeah, it's, you know, I watch the sign carvers of the day and I'm going, good golly, these people are like, for a second, I'm like, wow, you know, it's such amazing talent. So, you know, but you guys were the catalyst. You guys started all that, I think.
We were blessed that we just kind of fell into this thing. It's, you know, Dad started it when I was young, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. And then we came across this YouTube thing, and we're just so blessed that we had the opportunity to share it with enough people, and
We
just
built this family of
kinda-
sign carvers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Worldwide.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's still, you know, Dad and I would talk about it a lot, that it
Mhm.
still amazed us, and still amazes me every day that I'll get emails from people all over the world that started watching us, and yeah,
Yeah,
follow
you know,
what we do.
that's one thing that with Dave it just pretty much dumbfounded Dave. You know, we'd have people from New Zealand and the UK and Australia and what was that other place?
Norway. I think there was one in
Norway.
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 Yeah.
No, what's that other
Germany.
country that I could
Latvia.
Latvia. I'm like, where's
Yeah.
Latvia?
Gosh,
You know,
yeah.
and he would just walk like after the live or whatever, he'd just walk away going, this is just unreal.
It's crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
crazy.
It's humbling. It's just like,
Oh.
wow, I can't believe that,
Yeah.
you know.
Very humbling.
And
but-
that's the cool thing about, you know, technology has its downsides, but man, there's some upsides.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know, if you really understand the power of
Yeah.
that technology that we have available to us, it's
The
pretty
power for good too.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 So.
Well, thank you so much, you
It
guys.
was so nice to
It
meet you
it
guys.
has been a pleasure. I'm
Nice
hoping
to meet
someday we can get back to Kansas and meet in person.
Yeah.
One of these.
Yeah, well,
That'd be
you know, if you know you're talking about doing these trips, well, if you're heading towards the Northeast, there's not a lot around us, but I tell you what, it's so beautiful. We got plenty of room. We'd love to treat you to barbecue and
Oh,
make some sawdust.
you
And
said it right there,
That
Barbara.
sounds
Yeah.
great.
hey, we entice people with barbecue. It's like, come on over, you know. So, but you guys are awesome.
Thank
Well,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's been a pleasure, and we'll
I'm so glad you were here, Nancy. It's really
Yeah.
nice to meet you. I like
Thank
the wives. I mean, I talk to the guys all the time on the phone, but it's nice
Right.
to meet, you know, see the women and know that you're involved and you guys are working together. That makes my heart smile. So I'm glad.
She's awesome. Well, like I said, you guys inspired us. You know, like I said, we see how your interactions, and I like the fact you guys are so genuine. It's like, hey, that's our marriage, you know. It's kind of the bad or
Exactly. We're not perfect, but we don't try to be, you know.
yeah.
What you
Yep,
see is
that's
what
funny.
you get.
yeah.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks again, you guys. I know it's probably getting late back there where you're at, so
Yeah, that's all right.
God bless you guys, and thank you
Bless.
so much. And you know, I'm here. Vicky's here.
Yep.
If you guys have
Yeah,
questions, Nancy, with the resin or anything,
Let me
we're
know.
here to help however we can.
Absolutely. I get questions all the time. I love it. Makes me
Yep.
feel like I know something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys will, we will definitely stay in touch, and
Yes.
I'll send you some pictures when we get these things and we'll just keep.
Send us a picture of Nancy's box. I just think that's amazing, and you should put it in the
Yeah,
carvers of the day.
Yeah.
yep, we'll do.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks,
All right,
guys. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.